Hey guys, Jay here. So in this video today, I want to be very quick on talking. First of all, there's a construction thing going on next door, and so it'll be very loud and noisy. You can probably hear it right now. First, I will show you a run through the Blood Aqueduct here, 102, just basically show you how it looks like, and then I will stop and explain basically what it is. It is not a full build, or it's not a full build guide or anything. It's just a very interesting interaction that I think have potential to be like a very pleasant auto bomber kind of build. So let's get to the showcase first.
Earth and fire, heed my call.
Okay, so that is basically how it looks like, and I will try to explain this one quickly. So first of all, it is mainly around Blade Vortex and the Icicle Burst when you hit a frozen enemy here. Why Blade Vortex? Because Blade Vortex is a spell that when you cast, it linger on you for the duration of base of 4 seconds. And that means you have that Blade Vortex going on for 4 seconds. So when you hit an enemy, it can freeze the enemy depending on how you do the Blade Vortex. Right here I am cheating by using Expeditions N, so all damage can freeze, but normally we can do like Hatred and scaling Hatred. Especially right now, Hatred is pretty good on like pure physical skill that you scale by converting the damage into cold, or just get a bunch of physical as extra cold damage basically. And we freeze with the Blade Vortex, and then that means we'll trigger Icicle Burst because we are hitting that enemy again, and the Icicle Burst is a attack, so it will trigger Blade Vortex as a cast on crit, right? So it is basically a loop by itself. So Blade Vortex will trigger Icicle Burst will trigger more Blade Vortex, and basically this is just like I would say an interesting thing, an interesting interaction, and it will allow you to have a playstyle of Blade Vortex that is completely no button press basically. At the beginning of the map or at the beginning of the zone, you would do something, literally anything. I am just slapping in the one linked lasting steel spraying here because it's had a bunch of hits, and it will first freeze something it will trigger Icicle Burst, and it will trigger the first Blade Vortex, and then from then on, you just basically walk through. As long as you keep hitting the enemy every at least 4 seconds, you will be able to trigger the loop. The other important thing that is necessary is the Oath of Winter. So Oath of Winter, let me just pull it up here. Oath of Winter. This is a flashback. It is an ascendancy from the Warden. This build should be done on the Warden, by the way, because we'll have a lot of like powerful. Wow, you see you hear the construction. It have a lot of powerful things that you can potentially do to give a lot of damage, especially elemental damage. And in this build, if you want to technically in like boss fight and things like that, maybe you can even do the 100 stack of a shock or something, 50 stack shocks. Yeah, that is an option. But anyway, the main thing is we want the enemies you freeze remain frozen for at least 2 seconds. And more importantly, even though the first line is very strong, more importantly, hits that fail to freeze due to insufficient freeze duration inflict frost. That debuff is something that will guarantee you freeze eventually, and it will be very fast, right? Because that debuff is each one increase the freeze duration on target by 20%. So yeah, it basically is a ascendancy node that is guaranteeing freeze. So it allows this interaction to guarantee to happen. And yeah, basically just now you see why I have to to actually mute and put on music for the showcase. So yeah, that is basically the interaction. Just Blade Vortex cast on crit and the axe here. If you think about it, right, the actual gem here is it is like a unleash or a spell echo in a normal Blade Vortex build, but now we are trading it for this one. The bad thing about this playstyle, about this build, is in trade-off for the playstyle, you need to use a axe or a sword as your weapon. Probably you should do something like a sword, because there's a base sword that gives you two-handed, that gives you, I think, 50% crit multi, which is extremely strong. For this build, if you don't want to do anything but Blade Vortex, in this case I am putting in Blazing Salvo as well for additional proc, but if you want to do like pure Blade Vortex, probably you should do the sword weapon. You don't need to cap your attack crit for this build. I think around 60-70% is good enough, because Blade Vortex cap a 10 stack, so any extra thing that you will do, you basically do nothing, right? Extra cast will just reset the duration of the already existing stack, basically. So yeah, that is the interaction. Let me know what you think, any ideas to improve, or if anyone have played this build before, any tips, right? Anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Peace.